90 seconds and counting. The 51L mission ready to go.
In Los Angeles, where it is 3 hours earlier than Florida, NBC's affiliate, KNBC, decided to cover the launch live.
This is a special report from Channel 4 News. Good morning, I'm Ken Shocknick, and Space Shuttle Challenger is just a few seconds away from blasting off from the Kennedy Space Center near Cape Canaveral, Florida. Let's take a look right now. Challenger finally getting ready to leave KSC. Its launch delayed a couple of times because of weather and mechanical problems.
T-minus 15 seconds.
The voice of launch control, Hugh Harris of NASA.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
Solid rocket boosters kicking in.
25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
Challenger going into its roll. That's planned.
Good roll program.
Spiral away from pad 39B, the first use of pad 39B since the old Apollo days and the Skylab missions. It's chilly in Florida. Icicles formed on the pad overnight. NASA engineers were concerned that they might have broken off during the launch and affected the fragile heat protection tiles that protect the shuttle on its way back in during re-entry.
We'll throttle down to 65% shortly.
Don't know what the effect might be just yet. The astronauts will take a look later on during the mission.
Engines at 65%, 3 engines running normally, 3 good fuel cells, 3 good APUs.
APUs, the auxiliary power
Velocity
units.
2,257 feet per second. Altitude 4.3 nautical miles. Downrange distance 3 nautical miles.
It's always amazing to hear how quickly the shuttle moves. It's already more than 4 miles downwind, as we just
Engines
heard.
throttling up. 3 engines now at 104%.
Challenger, go with throttle up.
Roger, go with throttle up.
This shuttle mission will launch, my God,
1 minute 15
There's been an explosion.
Velocity 2,900 feet per second. Altitude 9 nautical miles. Downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
this is not standard. This is not something that is planned, of course. I can see a solid rocket booster has broken away from Shuttle Challenger. That's what you're looking at in the middle of your screen. I cannot see the shuttle itself. I don't know if it's able to continue on one rocket booster. If it's able to jettison that rocket booster, it will be able to return to the Kennedy Space Center. Perhaps the shuttle engines are not enough to power the shuttle back down. It would have to shut
Controllers here
down.
looking very carefully at the situation. Obviously a major malfunction.
I hope they were able to survive. I hope the astronauts...
We have no downlink.
We have absolutely no sign at all of the shuttle itself. All we saw was that one explosion only about a minute into the flight, and we saw the solid rocket booster. Now here's something coming down. I don't know what that is. I don't think that that's the shuttle. I believe that's a piece of debris that's coming back earthbound. I don't know. It's too small for the shuttle itself. Pieces falling out of the sky in the Florida morning. It's about 20 till noon in Florida. There are contingency plans for the shuttle when something does go wrong, when something goes terribly wrong.
We have a report from the flight dynamics officer that the vehicle has exploded. Flight director confirms that. We are looking at checking with the recovery forces to see what can be done at this point.
8:40, and we hear from launch control the vehicle has exploded. That's the orbiter itself, the Shuttle Challenger, has exploded. We
Contingency procedures are in effect.
assume that the crew is not alive. This is unheralded in the history of the space program. Ladies and gentlemen, I have covered the space shuttle launches since the very first launch, since before the first launch itself, going way back, and nothing like this has ever happened. Of course, there was the Apollo fire on the ground at the Kennedy Space Center, the Apollo 1 fire that killed 3 astronauts during a test run back in the 60s, but the shuttle program itself, to this time, has been untouched by any human problem.
Let's go down to the Kennedy Space Center and take a look at Challenger sitting on the pad.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
Engines at 65%, 3 engines running normally, 3 good fuel cells, 3 good APUs. Velocity 2,257 feet per second. Altitude 4.3 nautical miles. Downrange distance 3 nautical miles.
So the 25th Space Shuttle mission is now on the way after more delays than NASA cares to count. This morning it looked as though they were not going to be able to get off.
1 minute 15 seconds. Velocity 2,900 feet per second. Altitude 9 nautical miles. Downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Looks like a couple of the solid rocket boosters blew away from the side of the shuttle in an explosion.
Flight controllers here looking very carefully at the situation. Obviously a major malfunction.
We're awaiting word. They're holding their breath, just, I'm sure, as everyone else is. In the center of the fire and the smoke, you can't see any form of what was once the shuttle. You saw it just a few moments ago, about 45 seconds after liftoff, a huge fireball in the sky.
We have a report from the flight dynamics officer that the vehicle has exploded. Flight director confirms that. We are looking at checking with the recovery forces to see what can be done at this point. Contingency procedures are in effect.
Because we're 10 crews from
out of Miami.
Right, 2 crews out of Miami, and how many crews we got going? Okay, so we got 4 crews.
2 coordinators.
We got 3.
How many at the Space Center? That's the big thing.
Houston.
Yeah, how many in Houston?
In Houston,
The whole Chicago thing is very, that's
we got Flock and a crew.
No, he continues to work the
Clark,
story. Just tell him he's getting tons of people coming in there. His worry now is the air. He worries about the air. We'll worry about everything else.
He's leaving.
Stand by to voice over this picture. Shut up in here! Open their mics.
Open all their mics.
Talk, folks.
Rella's there at the scene. He's staying on the top of the Can you get to the airport in time to just meet that plane and say, get back on the plane with tickets?
Whoever is necessary right now in the air, please move back into the pit.
Graphics, I need pictures of the crew, please. They only got 3.
We are still not clear as yet, Tom, exactly what is parachuting down here.
We're not clear, but we know that a C-130 was in the area and that medical personnel were dispatched by parachute down into the water to search for survivors.
A BZ truck, okay, hired by WBZ, in right there. All right, there's no name on the truck. We don't know whose it is.
Her parents watched it from the VIP site, 3.5 miles from the launch pad, hugged each other and sobbed, watching the fireball over. Let's get that in. All right. Okay, let me redo this.
When we first saw the explosion, we didn't know exactly what had happened. And then we realized, I think we were trying to talk ourselves out of it really being the disaster that it was.
There may be no State of the Union tonight. They got to start planning a shuttle show for 9 o'clock.
Okay, we're going to read. Read and Scott, let me talk a little bit.
That is Senator John Glenn. Braylon and Hess can handle till midnight. Burnkopf can pick up.
They don't get in until midnight anyway.
But let's let Hess be the overall planner of. You know how much trouble we have getting people to sleep, of working out who works when and handling stations. You gonna worry about that?
Yeah, we only got 6 rooms in Houston. That's most we can get.
You plug continuing live coverage, the NASA news conference at 3:30 live, then get me into, there's been reaction from across the country, briefly some thoughts from people in New York, and you hit 2 sound bites and come out of the sound bites and get me into this. All right, I'll walk you through it on the IFB.
At first, no one was quite sure what we had seen. Everyone was sort of standing.
My job began just at the time that this tragic accident occurred, and I was not permitted to have emotional feelings about it. I will have those later. I had to represent this network in doing the things that it is expected to do.
A long way from history, but responsible for making sure that we covered it. And sad, little prayer.
Usually the night before, I had the same nightmare that what I saw today, and I thought it was a dream. I was speechless for a few minutes. And I knew that that explosion shouldn't have happened when it did, and I was holding my breath, and I crossed my fingers as I always do right before the launch. And when I saw the fireball in the sky, I knew no one could have survived that. That'd be the toughest thing I've ever done in my life.